Ready to take your favorite Wager Talk handicappers wherever you travel this football season? The Wager Talk TV app is now live for phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like Wager Talk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report, plus browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season, and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for Wager Talk TV, or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.
Don't worry, we are here, and it's time for Asian baseball today. I know it's some people fretting, thinking, where the heck are these guys? Well, we just had to have our guys behind the scenes prepping us up to get some winners. That's Tokyo Brandon, and that's Adam Trigger. They were putting in overtime work, getting ready to go for today. So it's another show intro, and it's another day that we say Tokyo Brandon cashed another 5% play. Brandon, how we doing, man?
Doing pretty good, guys. How's it going? Yeah, another 5% winner last night. Overall profitable. Have had one losing day in the last week. I've got two 4% money line bets out today. One is in the KBO and one is in Japanese baseball. Ready to roll. I got a free play loaded, and I'm probably giving out two client plays on this show today. So let's cash them.
Client plays drop, and then stay tuned. We're going to drop a pretty sweet promo code that we worked up for Tokyo Brandon a little later in the show. That's what we call a tease in the industry. Trig, how are you doing, my man? You have anything posted up for tonight, and how you been hitting?
I mean, overall, it's been great. I woke up annoyed this morning because my 5% streak came to an end last night, Dan. I had the Giants plus 1.5, the San Francisco Giants plus 1.5. They had bases loaded in the 7th with no outs, and they had bases loaded in the 9th with 1 out. And guess how many runs they got out of both of those things? 0. They got 0 runs out of both of those scenarios, and my San Francisco Giants plus 1.5, 5% play lost 3-0. But we got right back at it with a win in KBO in the morning. I had Hanwha Eagles plus 1.5. They won outright. That was a play I actually tweeted out for free, 4% play that I gave out for free. Tomorrow, if you want the 4%, you're going to have to pay for it. It's up on my page for just $9. I also have a best bet 4%er tonight in MLB. So hopefully we keep rolling. And there is an angle that I do like quite a bit that I'll be giving out later on the show.
Just $9 for that big ticket play for our man Adam Trigger. Or you can buy these guys long-term access and get all those plays. Head on over to wagertalk.com to check those out. So, boys, let's get right into it here. Starting right at the top of the hour. Here's our standings update. My SSG Landers continue to roll up 8 games on the LG Twins. And yes, I said LG Twins. LG getting the old leap on Kiwoom as their one loss underneath Kiwoom there in the standings. So now LG Twins, your new second place team. We'll see how long that holds for. And then you kind of got the best of the rest. KT Wiz keeping things interesting, but a lot of teams coming off a loss in that kind of middle of the pack there. And then at the bottom, we got the NC Dinos, the Samsung Lions, and the Hanwha Eagles. The Hanwha Eagles, though, however, I want to throw it your way, Trig, because how about them Eagles, man? They just got a series win against Kia. Before that, they split with Doosan. They split their series prior with a draw in that one. So, I don't know, Trig, could the 30-win, could we be talking about the 30-win Hanwha Eagles getting hot right now? Floor is yours to chat about that a little bit.
Well, Dan, listen, even if you don't buy any of my plays, if you've watched this show at all the past month, you should have made plenty of money already on just backing Hanwha alone. I've got some stats here for you. I said weeks ago, Dan, that Hanwha coming out of the All-Star break was going to be much, much better than their record. Okay, their overall record right now is 30, 64-2. Since the All-Star break, they're 5-5-1, and they've been an underdog in every single one of those games. So that means if you've just bet Hanwha straight up, even at 5-5, you should be up plenty because they've been plus money in every single game. I like to bet them on the plus 1.5. Now, because they've been a dog in every game, there's been a plus 1.5 offered on Hanwha in every single game. And most of them have been very affordably priced, right around minus 110, minus 120. There's been a couple times they've been up around minus 140, but there's been a couple times you've actually been able to get Hanwha plus 1.5 at a plus price. Their record in the 11 games since the All-Star break against the plus 1.5 run line is 7-3. Now, there was one game that did not qualify because it was shortened by rain, and you have to play a full game for the run line to factor in. So we throw that one out because it was a 7-inning game. The other 10, they're 7-3 against the plus 1.5. And Dan, I actually think that's unlucky that they're only 7-3 because the 3 losses, let me just tell you the 3 losses. The first one, they went into the 9th inning in a 2-1 game that they gave up a run and lost 3-1. Okay. The next one, they went into the 9th inning up 3-2 and gave up a 5 spot to blow that one. And the most recent one, they were tied at the end of regulation and gave up 3 runs in the 10th inning. So really, 10 games, 3 terrible beats. I mean, they could easily be 10-0 against the run line. Jeffrey Ramirez is an absolute stud. He's an ace in this league, through 7 starts. I don't think there's any question about that. Felix Pena is probably going to continue to improve. Their lineup is healthy, and yet the books are still looking at that 30-64-2 record, and you're still getting value with them on a daily basis. So listen, there's very rarely, as long as Hanwha plus 1.5 is going to be offered, like as long as they're going to be an underdog and it's going to be like minus 110, minus 15, minus 120, you can pretty much bet it on a daily basis. It's probably not the worst thing that you could find to bet. So the books will catch up at some point, Dan. They always do. But until then, the Hanwha Eagles are going to be a solid play on, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Adam Trigger has quite literally paid for you to buy his long-term packages and his $9 play as posted with just free info that he's given out here on the KBO show. So, not really an excuse not to ride with our guys here, but we appreciate you checking out the free content that we put out across all of our Wager Talk platforms. And now you can get it on your smartphone. Soon you're going to be able to get it on your Roku device. Download that Wager Talk TV app. Free info all around the clock there. And speaking of free info and, being able to pay for people to grab the packages and the daily plays, Brandon's been doing this. I call it the How the Sausage is Made special at the top of our takeaway segment here, where he literally, opens up his notebook and shows you the way that he arrives at some of his handicaps. So if you've been following along with the past month and a half, you can basically handicap the KBO by yourself. However, you probably won't be hitting it like a 60% clip like our man Tokyo Brandon. So, Brandon, you can keep giving him the peel and back of the curtain today. You wanted to talk about some teams and how they kind of match up against each other just from a runs per game perspective. So, floor is yours, Brandon.
Fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. Little Steve Miller there talking about the Hanwha Eagles. Loving it. So, what I wanted to talk about today is how teams pair up against each other. So I'll show you my little graphic here. I think I've graduated from the claymation cookie dough kindergarten graphics. I think I'm doing pretty good now. So we've got, what I did is I put together, as you know, in Asian baseball, the schedules are quite rigid. And so starting on Friday, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3-game series in the KBO and in Japanese baseball. So I put a little graphic together. If you throw it up there, you can see the next 3 days. This is how the teams pair up against each other. Once the graphic goes up, I will explain it. So Hanwha KT is one matchup, Lotte NC, Doosan Kia, Samsung SSG, and Kiwoom LG. So as we can see, for some odd reason, Lotte and NC, when they get together, I think they played 7 times and they're averaging 6.3 runs. If you've paid attention to my past shows, the 9 on the right side there is KBO overall for the whole season. Average game score is 9.0. You can see, if you've paid attention to past shows, I do break it down by day of the week as well. And Friday tends to be a fairly high day, but Friday, I think the average is about 9.1 runs a game or close to 10 runs a game on Fridays. So use that as a benchmark. You can see Kiwoom LG a little low, Hanwha KT a little low, Lotte NC for some reason very low, because Lotte has the worst bullpen in the league, and NC's bullpen is not that great either. Doosan Kia tends to be high, and Samsung SSG tends to be high as well. So take that for what it's worth. Those are how the next 3 days matchups play out. You can screenshot that and use it for your own capping for the next 3 days. But that's how they shake out for the next 3 days.
Little runs per game there from my man Tokyo Brandon. And I know that, a lot of fans of the show, they love your singing and your songs. I'll tell you what, Brandon, my favorite thing is when you're waiting for a graphic to come up and the vamping that takes place. That may rival the songs when you're barking at the crew to give you some graphics there. So I'm just saying that's one of my favorite parts of the show. I'm just messing with you, Brandon. It's all love, my man. It's all love. Let's get into our feature game here today, guys. We got Kiwoom and KT. Both of these teams are coming off a loss, and you got a big favorite for the LG Twins. Kiwoom plus 205 to take back on the money line. You got to lay 255 to back LG, and this one total is 7.5. So Brandon, I'm going to let you go first on this one. I'm guessing it's a pitching mismatch on this one. It had to happen, Brandon, after I was giving you some grief there. So how are you betting this one? I'm guessing it's because of the pitching that you're seeing this huge difference.
Well, you're not giving me as much grief as Joe gives me before we go live. And I do have a game-worn NC Dino's jersey on here. How about that? Is that sweet or what? Anyways, so the way I'm breaking this down is, Choi Wante is Choi Wante is the starter for Kiwoom. And he's done amazing against LG. Actually, he's in his last 5 starts, he's given up 2-0, 1-2-0. So he's given up 5 earned runs in 5 starts. His K rate's not that great, but against LG, he faced him one time and he gave up only 1 run. I think it was 6 innings. So Choi Wante is a great pitcher, and I think LG is a little bit too much of a favorite here. I mean, they got Casey Kelly on the mound. I haven't seen his name for a while, and I looked up his last start. It was July 28th, so I guess he's on rotation, but he hasn't really stood out to me. Obviously, he's a stud. He's got a 22-3 strikeout to balls ratio against Kiwoom when he faced him last year. He hasn't faced him this year yet. He's had 1 bad start where he gave up 4 runs. Other than that, his game score is 1-0-0-1-0. So Casey Kelly is a stud. I would like to play the under in this, but I've been burned on KBO unders recently, so I'm kind of shying away from unders, especially on a Friday. So I was looking at an angle. Where can I play an under here? And I noticed, I don't know if every book offers this, but the first 5 team totals. I know it's kind of it's not a mainstream bet to make, but first 5 team totals, I noticed LG's first 5 team total was 2.5. That's really high. You think LG is going to score 3 runs against Choi Wante in only 5 innings? I don't think so. I mean, LG's averaging 5.8 runs a game the last week, which is high. So LG has a good lineup and they're in good form. But Choi Wante is a stud. I don't think he's going to give up 3 runs to LG. This is a client play I put out. It's a 2% play, but LG first 5 under 2.5 is the play that I put out. I just think 2.5 is too high. Choi Wante is a stud. So that's what I put out. I know every book doesn't offer it. So if you want to do kind of an outline, if you want to make a bet that every book would offer, if you see LG's team total at 4.5, you might want to bet an under on that, because Kiwoom has a great bullpen too. I have their bullpen ranked number 2. So full game LG Under 4.5 would be okay, but I really like the first 5 under 2.5 for LG's team total.
Man, I love it. In a niche market already with the KBO, we're diving even deeper. That's what you get on Asian baseball today. Looking for a first 5 team total under. Love that out of my man, Tokyo. Brandon Trigg, how are you breaking down this game? And we'll get into this series a little bit more in depth with you coming up here. But as far as tomorrow's game, you kind of see it similar as our guy, Tokyo Brandon?
Well, I don't know, because I like... Listen, LG Twins, they're the second best team in this league. Now they're in second place. I said this a couple weeks ago, that this was the team. If there's going to be a team that makes a run at SSG that can even sort of be in their league right now, it's the LG Twins. And so it comes as no surprise to me that they're now in second place, because they are far and away, in my opinion, them and SSG are by far the 2 best teams in this league right now. And it's not close. And Kiwoom's not close, despite where they rank in the standings. I was waiting for the Kiwoom regression to come all season. It's come out of the All-Star break. Their bullpen, which is what a lot of has been a huge reason for their success, has an ERA right around 5 since the All-Star break. So not great. And, Wante Choi's got some impressive numbers, but he hasn't pitched against a really like a winning team since April. So the top 4, which Kiwoom is a part of, that's the top 4 in this league, which means that the other teams in the top 4 would be SSG, LG, and KT. The last time Choi faced one of those teams was April 29th against the KT Wiz, and he lasted 2 innings. So he hasn't had much exposure to a quality, like elite team like LG. And, I just think that his stats are inflated by all these starts against the Hanwhas, the Samsungs, NCs, teams that are just not playoff teams this year. LG, Robel Garcia has played 8 games. He's hitting .265, and I don't even think we've seen his best yet. I think he's probably better than he showed. So in this game 1, I'm going to continue to talk about this series in a minute, but in game 1 here, Casey Kelly is elite. He's 12-1. He's got a whip around 1. I mean, the LG Twins bullpen, as long as they're getting length out of their starters, are the best unit in the league, still with a 3.38 ERA that leads the league. I don't think this matchup is close, Dan. I would be, the only way I'm playing this is to back Casey Kelly and the LG Twins, because I have them as a far superior team right now. Dan, you're muted.
Thank you very much, brother. So the reason why I was muted was because I was going through here while you were chatting and just wanted to see, where you could potentially get that micro market that Brandon was talking about, that team total runs. And we don't, give out any free publicity or anything like that. But the green sports book that has a crown in the logo has the same initials as Donkey Kong. It has it on there, under 2.5, only minus 105. So you're able to find it at one of those widely regulated books.
Dan, real quick,
they have everything too.
I don't disagree with Brandon's handicap there, because as I said, Kiwoom, the thing that's really fallen off with them so far is the bullpen, right? Because that bullpen was right up near the top of the league. And so if you look at the SSG series just now, I mean, they played pretty good, but the bullpen choked away 2 of those games and really was 1 base hit away from choking away the 3rd. So the bullpen's had some serious issues. They've actually moved Tyler Epler to the bullpen. There's just some weird stuff going on there. And that they just profile as a fade to me right now. So it would be the LG Twins money line in game 1 for me.
So you gave your thoughts on the game that's going to be going tomorrow morning, but for your series breakdown, you wanted to dive in a little bit deeper and just see how you see it going the whole rest of the weekend. So Trig, I'll give the floor to you to break down this series a little bit further.
Yeah, so the series, it's going to be interesting because after game 1, LG could potentially have to go with a bullpen game in game 2, which is probably Jae-Jun Bae, who will get the start, and then it'll be a bullpen game from there. But because of the rain earlier this week, so just to circle back, Brandon said he hadn't seen Casey Kelly in a while. LG had a couple games rained out, so they were able to kind of reset their pitching rotation. And I think that really helps them this week because they were able to put Adam Plutko on Tuesday, which means he's going to come back and be able to make the start on Sunday, no problem. Kiwoom had to go with Chanhyun Jeong on Tuesday. So, I mean, if he's the guy that they decide to go with Sunday, I think they're in trouble because he's really been getting hit hard of late. And because they have Tyler Epler in the bullpen, I'm really not sure what they're going to do on Saturday. And, so that makes me look at Saturday's game. Listen, I could go a couple of different ways here because Epler's been decent out of the bullpen. I don't know if this was a punishment because he really hadn't been pitching well. Like, typically, you're not going to see a foreign import pitcher get moved to the bullpen because they want him there, right? Like, they pay these guys the big bucks to go out and throw 6 or 7 innings. So I'd imagine that the plan is at some point for Kiwoom is going to be to move him back into the starting rotation. And if that ends up happening Saturday, I actually think I'd have to lean Kiwoom there, especially if LG ends up having to use their bullpen on Friday. So follow along with me here. Okay, I think LG is the better team, but if for some reason they're in a close game on Friday and they use their high leverage guys, and then suddenly on Saturday it's Tyler Epler versus LG in a bullpen game, you might actually have some nice value on Kiwoom there because I think Epler, by the time he moves back into the starting rotation, will be better. I think it'll be a little bit of a wake-up call for him. But we don't really know. Like we talked about earlier in the show, it's hard to find out exactly what these teams are going to do with their pitching. That means Sunday. So the other thing is, like, they could use Epler on Sunday if they want and have him go up against Plutko, which I would probably say LG, it would be the play there because I really think Adam Plutko has been fantastic. But that could leave Kiwoom with a bullpen game on Saturday, in which case I would probably look toward LG if they have their higher leverage relievers from today. So in summary, I like LG in game 1. As far as the weekend is concerned, I'm going to be I would look to back Tyler Epler with Kiwoom as long as he's not up against Plutko. If it's Chanhyun Jeong for Kiwoom, he's someone I want to play against almost regardless. So this could go a bunch of different ways. I really do think LG is the better team, but there's going to be some interesting wrinkles in this series come the weekend, and they're wrinkles that I don't necessarily know the odds makers are taking into consideration. So keep an eye out for who the starting pitchers are. If you have if I just confuse the hell out of everyone, DM me. I'm happy to answer questions all weekend about this series. But that's how I see it, and I think there's going to be value at some point. So keep an eye on who the starting pitchers are and how the first game of this series goes, because I think it could lead you to a good bet.
Yeah, and Trey's not kidding. These guys are just a message away. You see their Twitter handles underneath there. Reach out to them. They're active on there. Great follows. And then, you can reach out to them and ask them any questions there. So that's all 3 games potentially in that Kiwoom LG series. Brandon, I want to throw it your way because it's kind of been a while that we talked about the Doosan Bears just because, what's been the reason to talk about the Doosan Bears? They're facing off against the Kia Tigers. So I'm kind of looking forward to hearing how you're breaking down this series.
Well, Doosan, the reason I picked this series is because, the graphic I put up earlier is one thing. When Doosan and Kia get together, usually there's a lot of runs scored, and the average game score between these two is 10.6. We're looking, I'll keep it short and sweet. Doosan, Kia, they have 2 of the better lineups. I have Kia's lineup ranked number 1, and I have Doosan's ranked number 4. If you look at form in the last week, they're Kia's putting up 6 runs a game. Doosan's putting up 4 runs a game. Right there, you got 10. Neither team has a stellar rotation, and both teams have a bad bullpen. I have Kia's bullpen ranked 5 out of 10, and I have Doosan's bullpen ranked 9 out of 10. So looking at this series going forward, I'm going to look at a lot of overs. So this series is going to trend to the over, and I don't care who's starting. So Kia's got Liu Lee out today, who's probably their best their best Korean starter. Doosan, doesn't matter who they're throwing out because all their pitchers pretty much stink except Choi Won-jun, maybe Robert Stock, but I think this series is going to go over. I might lay off today just because Liu Li is on the mound and the number's pretty high today. But for game 2 and game 3 of this series, if you see any 8s, 8.5s, definitely bet the over. If you're lucky enough to get one, there'll probably be 9 and 9.5. If you see any team totals at 3.5, definitely bet the over on that as well, because these are two teams with bad bullpens, good lineups, and bad rotations. So that's how I'm going to approach this series. Short and sweet. Look for overs in this series and in the next 3 days as they match up.
Could be an over series between Doosan and go ahead.
Dan, can I just jump in real quick? So I just want to say that it looks like Doosan's going to throw Brandon Waddle, their new import pitcher, tomorrow.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you.
There we go. So, but listen, that should only strengthen Brandon's point, because we've seen some of these guys, other than Morimando from SSG, most of these guys the first time around have come out and thrown 3 innings. So you're going to get a bunch. That probably means you're going to get Shinzi Park or some of their bullpen guys following him.
Yep.
I can't see him going particularly long. The other thing with Kia, they took 2 very, very big injuries to key relievers over the weekend. Their bullpen is in real rough shape. So it's really just to more support the points he was making. I don't disagree with him. You're probably going to see runs in this series this weekend.
I expect a lot of overs, and today I'm just laying off because I don't know what to expect from Adele, the newly signed singer by Doosan, and I don't, and Liu Li is an elite pitcher, but actually if you look at his game scores, he's given up, he gets bombed for 4 runs, 5 runs on occasion. So today I don't really know what to expect. So my cap is more for game 2 and game 3 of this series. Bombs away, bet the overs.
I'm just glad that Trig was just adding to the handicap, because when you first said, "Hey, Dan," I was like, did I seriously mute myself again? So I'm just glad that it was just, thrown a little bit in more. And it's time for everybody's favorite part, a little free action. I mean, you got actionable info all show, but none so succinct as best bet time here on Asian Baseball Today. It's been a moneymaker all year long. Before we get into that, I promised you a promo code for Tokyo Brandon. I have it for you right now. It's code TB899. And what that's going to get you, it's going to get a year access of Tokyo Brandon's plays, every single release that he puts out for just about $2 a day. That's discounted from $11.99. You're getting it for $8.99. TB899. Go to Brandon's page on wagertalk.com. Just search wt.buzz/TB. Use code TB899 and get a year of plays from our guy Tokyo Brandon for just $8.99. He has 2 4% money line plays up, one in KBO, one in Japanese baseball. So ride with him. Grab the year package for just $8.99 using code TB899. So there's my best Steve Merrill impression on the promo for you, Brandon. I'm going to throw it your way, and you can let people know what you're going to be betting for your free best bet on the show today, Brando.
Thanks, appreciate it. And yeah, I'm plus 401% the last 365 days. So my subscribers have quadrupled their bankroll. So probably get your money's worth with that $8.99. Today's best bet, I'm looking at SSG and Samsung, and I love this matchup. Very juicy. This is actually a client play that I gave to my clients about 45 minutes ago, half hour before the show. I woke up late today. But Wilmer Font, absolute stud. Arguably the best pitcher in Korea. There's a couple guys who would give him a run for his money, but he's definitely a top 3 starting pitcher in Korea. Case in point versus Samsung. He hasn't played him this year, but last year he gave up 1 earned run and 1 earned run in each of his starts. He's got a 0.83 whip. He's got a 124 to 23 strikeout bases to balls ratio. He's a stud. He's great. He's facing Hwang Dong-jae for Samsung. And Hwang Dong-jae is actually a relief pitcher, never goes past 2 innings. And once he gets pulled out, you get the 8th ranked bullpen for this SSG lineup to tee off on. He's given up 3 earned runs versus SSG in 2 appearances. It's only 3 appearances. He only pitched 5 innings in those 3 appearances and gave up 3 earned runs against them. In his last 3 starts, he has 13 earned runs in 7 innings pitched. So he is a bad pitcher. So the way I'm approaching this is forget the bullpen, because I've been burned on bullpens. Last night, KT's bullpen burned me in the full game. So let's just go first 5. And I'm going to lay the half run with SSG. I'm going to take Wilmer Font, and I'm going to lay a half run. I think SSG's excellent lineup can get at least 1 run against Hwang Jae, the stiff for Samsung. And I think Wilmer Font will give up probably 0 runs, but he might give up 1. Probably shouldn't matter. So I'm going first 5 SSG minus a half run. That's my best bet for today, and that's a client play that I put out about an hour ago.
Free client play from Tokyo Brandon. I know that's making the listeners' ears perk up there. SSG laying the half run in the first 5. Trig, let people know what's up, Brandon.
Let me put one note out.
As long as it's not a song, sure.
It's not a song.
All right.
For people who don't get the first 5 run lines in their books, go ahead and do full game minus 1.5 if you don't get the first 5. Even though SSG's at home, I still think they're going to win this quite easily by 2 runs or more. So if your book doesn't have first 5, even though I like first 5 better, go full game minus 1.5.
Let's go, Landers. Let's get shelling them, baby. So, Trig, remind people what you have up. I know that you have some big ticket plays as well. So how can people get those, and what do you got for your best bet today?
Yeah, so 4% play tonight in Major League Baseball, up now on my page. 4% play in KBO tomorrow morning for just $9. It is my favorite play on the KBO card that I have posted for $9 as a 4% play. But the one that comes close for me, and I was real close with this one, and I'll explain basically before I get into my best bet, the only reason that this didn't make my client card, and it's the Hanwha Eagles plus 1.5. But the only reason this didn't make my client card is Hanwha has been in 3 really tight games, and they've really maxed out that bullpen, which isn't overly deep. So this is my only concern with Hanwha for tomorrow. But with that being said, Dan, we're playing with house money at this point. The Hanwha Eagles plus 1.5 in the second half here. I've been giving it out on this show regularly. It's been cashing. Actually, it's cashed regularly. It's 7-3 since the All-Star break. And I would be willing to roll with it again. Listen, the KT Wiz, they're a good team, but they're still a little bit shorthanded right now. Hanwha just played them tough in the first series out of the break, and they got blown up last night. Their bullpen got blown up last night by NC, which isn't the way you really want to enter this game. Those high leverage guys getting hit hard, they blow the game, they lose to the NC Dinos. So now they have to face a Hanwha team that really, if you go back and look at that series with Kia, Hanwha was the better team there. They took 2 of 3, and the game they lost, they led and lost in extra innings. So the Hanwha Eagles are playing great baseball right now. The KT Wiz, Young Pyo Ko is awesome, but Minwoo Kim's been better. So I think he can keep me in it here. And KT, for me, guys, they're a little bit off from where they should be. I think it has to do with Baek Ho Kang still being out. So they're a good team, but Hanwha's on fire right now. And if I had to bet this game, I'd still be riding the Hanwha plus 1.5 money train. You can get it at plus money again, which is outrageous. And I'm just going to keep asking Hanwha to get it done. If they can keep this one within a run, they're on the road. So if they can keep this one within a run on the road where they get the extra at-bat, they're good. Hanwha plus 1.5, plus 110, and we'll keep trying to cash this as it's been great thus far.
Man, I love my dogs. I love my plus money. You get both of those aligning here on Adam Trigger's free best bet for you right here on Asian Baseball Today. Hanwha Eagles getting the 1.5 and a plus 110 take backs. Guys, fun show here again. We will be back on Monday. If you like the show, hop in the comments. You heard the guys' thoughts. Give us your thoughts on how you think these weekend's games are going to be shaking out. Give us a like. Hit that subscribe button. And biggest way you can thank these guys, head on over to wagertalk.com and grab their plays for today, the big ticket plays, or get that long-term all access. Again, for Tokyo Brandon, you can use that code TB899. And for Adam, great deals on his page as well. So that's going to do it for us. We will be back on Monday. So for Trig, for Tokyo Brandon, and for Robert behind the scenes, I'm Dan Alexander, and we'll see you Monday on Asian Baseball Today.
Did you know that from 2017 to 2020, Wager Talk charged $795 for a season of either college football or NFL? Well, we know how important our season-long customers are, and we want to increase the amount of money you save by committing a season-long package. While most of our competitors continue to raise their prices, we are doing the exact opposite. We've lowered our price for both the NFL season and the college football season to only $5.99 each. But through Sunday, August 14th, we are offering an early bird special, saving you an additional $100, making your NFL or college football season only $4.99. That's under $23 per week. Make sure to take advantage of the early bird prices before midnight, Sunday, August 14th, as they will return to the still low price of $5.99 per sport per season. You know the NFL preseason is already underway, and the college football season kicks off Saturday, August 27th. There is no coupon needed and no limit to the number of packages you can buy. Just head to your favorite handicappers page and take advantage today.